If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. These words, surprisingly, belong to Albert Einstein. Yes, fairy tales, which are indispensable for all ages. But what makes them so important in childhood? The first thing that should be considered, that child learns the idea of evil for the first time in fairy tales. So, the polarity between good and the evil that exists in the real world shows itself in fairy tales. The war between good and evil. After learning that evil exists, the child learns that it can be beatable with goodness. Cheriston says, fairy tales do not tell children that dragon exists. Children already know that dragon exists. Fairy tales tell them dragon can be killed. So, the question arises, who do I want to be like? The child sees that in the end, the good ones win and they are happy. So he decides to be good. This can be considered as the first step to have the characteristic of good person in the future. He learns how to handle the problems, no matter how hard it is. And when you read it, they start to imagine. Yes, imagination, which is the core of existence. Fairy tales are the keys of their imagination doors. Once they enter from this gate, as Einstein says, they will embrace the whole world. He says, logic will take you from A to B, but imagination takes you everywhere. Those who can imagine has the ability to wonder and ask questions. This will help the child to think about the life of adults. That's why maybe the children are famous for their curiosity. They want to discover, which will develop their intellect. That is how a good person becomes an individual who can cope with obstacles of life and question the world with a critical thinking. Isn't it the thing that we need for a better world?